boy in a great big lonely world. Someone like you could make my dreams come true. Then all the
I am here with the most incredible woman. She writes 7 books a year. She's sold 800 million copies. Her latest is a heart-stopping thriller. It is called Accidental Heroes. Please give a warm welcome to the legendary Danielle Steel. Oh, you know how much I adore you.
I feel totally that way about Robin. It's always the biggest honor and the greatest joy to be here.
You are so gracious. So the last time you were here, you were closing in on 160 books written. Now I think you're at 170?
Yes, as of last Saturday.
Who's counting? Okay, Going Home was the first one.
Yes.
You were 19 years old.
Yes.
Do you still have that same excitement when a book is coming out like
No,
this?
112. I do. I'm excited every time I finish one. And I'm excited every time one comes out. That came out on Tuesday. I am never blasé. I'm shocked when I see people read my books and I want to say, oh, why are you reading that? Yeah. And when it hits the bestseller list, it's like the first time every time.
It's always, that's nice. It's like it's the first time every time.
I'm always grateful and always excited.
Very humble. And it's always a page turner. So tell us about this one.
I'm excited about that book. It is very suspenseful. There are wonderful characters in it. It's about a sort of stress-making event, a crisis, and how everybody deals with it. And obviously it involves a plane. And it's the people on the ground, the detectives, the CIA, the people in the air. It stresses a couple of things. One is that many people are nervous about flying, and they really don't realize how much safety is surrounding them, how much care is taken. And so it's kind of reassuring in that sense. But also it brings out how we don't really know what we have in us, and how you don't expect it, and you become a hero by being
See,
in
that's
the
what I love about the
situation.
books. You always find something that you're reading and you understand that there's some of that in all of it. And you have some uber super fans here of Danielle Steel. And they want to ask, Aaron, you want to go first? What's your question, Aaron?
So my mom and I always feel like we come away from your book learning something. How do you research so quickly? You're writing 7 books a year. How do you research it so
Well,
quickly?
I don't actually write 7 a year. It takes about 2.5 years to do each one. But what I do, which is totally crazy, I'm usually juggling about 5 at a time, so that it's this kind of eternal juggling act of when they come out. And I do a lot of research, and I have a wonderful researcher. We were in love with the same boy at 13, and we're still friends, and he's now very unattractive. But she is a fabulous researcher, and she gives me a lot of information.
Yeah, it makes you...
And I work through it. I learn a lot with each book because I research history and industries. But the minute I finish the book, it's like someone hits a button and it's gone.
Oh my God.
It's awful.
Moni, you have a question.
Yeah, you've written about so many different things. Do the ideas always come easy to you?
Sometimes easier than others. Sometimes this one kind of hit me in the face, and sometimes they do. Other times, people are always talking about, when you have inspiration. Sometimes I sit there with a yellow pad and a pen, and I just make myself sit there until I get some ideas. So it varies, but I have no idea where the ideas come from, and I'm grateful every time I have an idea.
We are grateful that you have an idea, and we're always grateful that you are here. She's always so gracious. She's given gifts and that. So we have a gift for you. Can you bring it out? Okay. She loves shoes. Because you are so... There's only one you. There's only one you, and that's why we have a unicorn.
So
And I told you, like, I'm heading out on vacation in a couple weeks to Key West, and I'm going to take this book. Everybody in the audience is going home with a Danielle
I have have 3 daughters who work in fashion, monitor everything I wear, and always say, "You're not wearing that." I am wearing these to work today.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.
You've got your Gammy's hair and your mama's will, woven into every strand. So believe in your roots, baby, and greatness will follow.
That's weird. Wonder when this is.
Back now with one of my all-time faves, Danielle Steele. For more than, can't be, 40 years, her novels have captured readers' hearts. She's here with the latest on her new book, Property of a Noble Woman, As You Are. Wonderful to see you again. I'm saving this for my spring break in Key West in a couple of weeks. But
It's always a thrill to see you, Robin. I'm so happy.
oh, look, how many now? Have you lost
Shocking
count?
when I see them. No, I just finished my 150th book
100?
last week.
And you
That's
write so
exciting.
many at the same
I
time.
usually have 5 going at once.
And you said that this year you're going to have 6 books out. How do you do it, Danielle?
That's all I do. I work all the time. But Random House, very sweetly, is doing 6 books this year because the readers keep saying, "Can't you write more? Can't you write faster?" It's like, are you kidding? I never get out of my house. You know?
I'm one of those. I'm guilty. I'm the same one. Tell us about this latest one, Property of a Noble
This is
Woman.
an exciting one. I'm often intrigued by much older people. We have no idea who they were originally. And it's a woman who dies. No one really knows who she is. She leaves a safe deposit box with fascinating letters, a fortune in jewelry, even though everyone thought she was dead broke. And 2 people, one from the surrogate's court, one from an auction house, want to find out who she was, and they pursue her trail and find all kinds of surprises and interesting things.
I always do in your book.
Really
And
exciting.
you said you always have fun, but you really enjoyed this one,
I
writing
did.
this. Why?
Well, the woman was so intriguing, and following her history, and it affected the current people, and turns out one of them is related to her, and really exciting.
It's always that little twist.
I know,
When
I love
you're
the
always
little
You're
twist.
always
And
a
they
patient.
sometimes happen without my help. I was doing one that will be out in a couple of years, and the main character killed his best friend. I said, how did that
You
happen?
didn't see that one
And I
coming.
called my editor in the middle of the night. I said, "You're not going to believe it. He killed Bill." You know?
And you're saying that. Well, you have some Steele super fans that are here with us. Jennifer has a question for you. Jennifer?
Yes, the beginning, middle, or end. What's the most challenging for you to write?
The beginning is the hardest, getting started. I usually alphabetize my nail polish, redo my underwear drawer. I call on my children. I'm always looking for an excuse not to start. So that's the hard part. Once I get the story, then I'm off and running.
Just like us. You're just like us, Danielle Steele. And Jennifer, does your mother, Darlene, have a question?
Yes. If you weren't a writer, what would you be?
Dancing girl. No, I'm probably a designer because that was my training, and I've always liked the idea of being a lawyer. But I actually really love what I do. I wrote my first book at 19, and I have been plugging away ever since, and I really enjoy my work.
I can get you on Dancing with the Stars. Just in case that's in case that's what you want to do.
Finally.
All right, and you'd still be riding there on the
I
farm floor.
think so.
Thank you for your question, super
Thank
fans
you.
over there. Danielle Steele, thank you so much.
I love you, Robin. Take good care of yourself.
Always do, always. That's going with me to Key West
Thank
next
you
week.
for reading it.
Always. And Property of a Noble Woman is available in stores and online right now.
You booked a spacious Virgo summer home with a pool big enough for the most epic cannonballs. But the thing they'll remember forever, the first of many vacations with their nephew. The time for getting back together is now. Find it on Vrbo.
Pardon me.
I'll never use another pair of protective underwear again. Right now, you can qualify for a free box. All you have to do is just
Mountains I could climb if you just put your hand in mine. There ain't nothing in this world I couldn't do. Ah, la, 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 la. There ain't nothing in this world I couldn't do. Ah, la, 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 la. My dreams would all come true if I had you. Rainy days sunny in my mind. You make the world seem like a friend to me. Yeah, there ain't nothing I couldn't do if you were there to see me through. And I loved you and knew that you loved me. Come on, la la la, la la la. There ain't nothing in this world I couldn't do.
I gotta lie down for a while. It's been a pretty nice day. Okay, call you later.
My dreams would all come true if I had you. Well, I would feel 10 feet tall if you were at my side. Ain't nothing in this world I couldn't do. The kings would give up thrones to me and love for just 1 hour like me, and that's the way I'd feel if I had you. Come on, girl. La la la, la la la. There ain't nothing in this world I couldn't do. La 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 la, la la la. My dreams would all come true if I had you. Come on, little woman. La la la, la la la. There ain't nothing in this world I couldn't do.
Kinda tired.
La la la, la la la. There ain't nothing in this world I couldn't do. La la la, la la la. My dreams would all come true if I had you. I'm just a lonely boy in a great big lonely world. Someone like you could make my dreams come true. Then all the mountains I could climb if you just put your hand in mine. There ain't nothing in this world I couldn't do. Ah, la la la, la la la. There ain't nothing in this world I couldn't do. Ah, la la la, la la la. My dreams would all come true if I had you. You can make a rainy day sunny in my mind. You make the world seem like a friend to me. Yeah, there ain't nothing I couldn't do if you were there to see me through. And I loved you and knew that you loved me. Come on, la la la, la la la. There ain't nothing in this world I couldn't do. La la la, la la la. My dreams would all come true.
No, wait a second. I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom in just a minute.
Well, I would feel 10 feet tall if you were at my side. Ain't nothing in this world I couldn't do. The kings would give up thrones to me and love for just 1 hour like me, and that's the way I'd feel if I had you. Come on, girl. La la la, la la la. There ain't nothing in this world I couldn't do. La
tired all day until Leia left. I felt kind of re-energized. She does everything so efficiently, you know, and so well. It was very pleasant to have her here. Well, I would love that.
There ain't nothing in this world I couldn't do. La la la, la la la. My dreams would all come true if I had you. I'm just a lonely boy in a great big lonely world. But someone like you could make my dreams come true. And all the mountains I could climb if you just put your hand in mine. There ain't nothing in this world I couldn't do. La 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 la, la la la. There ain't nothing in this world I couldn't do. La 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 la, la la la. My dreams would all come true if I had you. Make a rainy day sunny in my mind. You make the world like a friend to me. Yeah, there ain't nothing I couldn't do if you were there to see me through. And I loved you and knew that you loved me. Come on, la la la, la la la. There ain't nothing in this world I couldn't do. La 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 la. My dreams would all come true if I had you.
You get unlimited data for as little as $25. But when you bring a friend, you get a month for $5. So I bring everyone within 12 degrees of me. Damn. 12 months of $5 wireless. Physical wireless that gets better with friends.
Trying to figure out how it started.
Nobody builds 5G like Verizon builds 5G. We go further because the more you do with 5G, the more reliability matters, the more your network matters.
That's inside the plant. Now, fire officials tell us that this could burn for days. They're limiting the amount of water that they're dropping on the fire because they're concerned about an environmental nightmare where contaminated runoff makes its way into the nearby river. Lester, it's just 300 yards away.
Yeah, what an ominous and unsettling backdrop that is. Megan, thank you. In just 60 seconds, a supermarket cashier shot and killed in a dispute over wearing a mask. We'll have late details. As the country races to fully reopen, the new Delta variant of coronavirus is adding urgency to getting more people vaccinated. 174 million have gotten at least one dose as health authorities try to overcome resistance. Here's Miguel Almaguer.
As our nation marks the loss of more than 600,000 lives, tonight the highly contagious Delta variant, first identified in India, remains the most serious threat here at home. After exploding across the UK and now extending that nation's lockdown for another month, a new analysis suggests the fully vaccinated are more than 90% protected against hospitalization from the variant.
If you are vaccinated, you are protected.
But a fight is underway against vaccinations. A federal judge has just dismissed a lawsuit at Houston Methodist Hospital, siding with the medical center that's requiring all 25,000 employees be vaccinated by June 21st or face termination.
We are prepared to get terminated at this point.
Plaintiff and nurse Jennifer Bridges says the small group will appeal, but as more hospitals require vaccinations as part of employment, more protests and litigation are coming.
You can't just go into work and say, I don't want to do these things. You're not going to be working there too long. Pretty soon the employer's going to recognize vaccination as part of a safe workplace.
In addition to hospitals, select airlines and universities are requiring some employees to get vaccinated. And Now, with an estimated 30% of Americans still not back at the office, the legal groundwork is now set for more businesses to follow suit. Here in California, where the state is lifting COVID restrictions tomorrow, employers will be given the right to verify the vaccination status of their employees. And that, too, could face legal challenges. Lester?
All right, Miguel Almaguer, thank you. Authorities in DeKalb County, Georgia say a cashier at a supermarket was shot and killed in an argument with a customer over wearing a mask. A sheriff's deputy working part-time at the store returned fire, wounding the suspect. That shooting comes on the heels of a rash of gun violence across the country over the weekend. Now police across the country are bracing for a deadly summer. With more on that, there's Gabe Gutierrez.
Surveillance video captures the brazen attack in broad daylight. A cyclist stabbing a delivery man in the back. The NYPD now investigating. From New York to Chicago to Cincinnati, violent crime surged this weekend. At least 11 people killed, 55 wounded, 10 mass shootings across 7 states. In Austin, Texas, 1 killed, 14 wounded. In Savannah, Georgia, 1 killed, 7 wounded.
These senseless acts of gun violence in our community have to stop.
Just this year in the U.S., there have been 273 mass shootings, defined as any incident where 4 or more people are shot. There have been 31 so far this June, and we're not even halfway through the month. What is going on here?
We've seen a lot of the pandemic-related issues related to mental health, unemployment, financial stress, combined with a lot of the retaliatory violence that happens in a lot of the inner cities.
But it's even more than usual. Portland, Oregon has seen a staggering 740% spike in homicide since last year. This neighborhood with children watching, bullet holes are now common.
I wish for people out there who have guns to stop killing people.
Experts say gun violence usually peaks in August, so police departments across the country are
Right, when the heat is high.
could continue as more COVID restrictions are lifted.
Violent crimes increase in the
We're
heat.
tracking weather extremes on both coasts tonight. In the west, some 46 million are under heat alerts. And in the east, a tropical depression off North Carolina is expected to become a tropical storm tonight. It's a new era for America's closest ally in the Middle East. Naftali Bennett sworn in as Israel's new prime minister after Benjamin Netanyahu was
I'm interested in the heat advisory in the
Kelly
west.
Kobiea reports he's vowing to fight on.
Tonight, the face of Israel's fragile new government. Politicians from the left, right, and center, led by the new prime minister, right-wing nationalist Naftali Bennett, pledging to repair ties with America's Democratic Party. The foreign minister today describing them as angry. Israel's new government sworn in on Sunday after an unruly vote. Several lawmakers were thrown out for heckling. Benjamin Netanyahu sat stone-faced as the coalition celebrated. Today, the former prime minister vowing again to bring down what he calls a dangerous government, saying he's the only one who can protect Israel from Iran and stand up to the U.S. president. Prime Minister Bennett says
Joe
he
Biden's
too
looking
strongly
kind of
opposes
poorly made up
joining
today.
the Iran nuclear deal. He's against the two-state solution and for
I don't know
Israeli
how old he
settlements.
is.
It doesn't only matter
I'm
what Bennett
62.
views, what matters probably
He's
more
probably in his
is
80s.
What would be his government's views, and there you would have to make a lot of compromises.
The first big test for this young government could come as soon as tomorrow, with a far-right nationalist march planned in Jerusalem. It was postponed last week out of fears it could spark violence. Hamas has already vowed to respond. Lester?
All right, Kelly, thank you. Up next, the country's dangerous roads and much more that needs to be fixed.
From head to buy every shade, Rashida?
That's it. Tiny baby dolphin.
To really remote resort, Rashida?
Not for good enough, apparently.
The new City Custom Cash Card is different. It automatically adjusts so you can earn cash back where your spending is trending.
We begin a week-long series in the crumbling state about infrastructure, and as you've seen for yourself likely, the problems are just about everywhere. Here's Tom Costello.
They're the most glaring examples of underfunded infrastructure, those potholes. Kelly Navarro blew 2 tires in Texas.
We shouldn't have to drive on highways like this. roads or anything. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
And it's widespread. Civil engineers give an overall grade of C to the nation's infrastructure, but much lower grades to aviation, dams, mass transit, water systems, and yes, roads and bridges. It's up to individual states to prioritize which bridges to fix when.
Here in Rhode Island, 16 to 20% of the bridges are structurally deficient, among the worst in the country. Look at this one, held up by wooden cribbing. Because the concrete above is crumbling, the rebar is rusting. This state gets a D- for its bridges.
Rhode Island has embarked on a massive repair effort, but hundreds of roads and bridges are on the list, which makes the federal infrastructure money critical.
The longer you wait to do it, the less safe it becomes. So certainly people's lives are in jeopardy over time. The longer you wait, the more costly the repair is.
More road projects also mean more jobs.
But it's not just roads and bridges. The Mississippi River is a 2,300-mile interstate of water, with aging locks and levees and dams that require constant work just to keep critical barge and ship traffic moving.
500 million tons of cargo move on this massive river, including half of all U.S. grain exports. The Army Corps of Engineers is constantly dredging the river to keep it moving. But some dams and levees are now decades old and need replacing. Inland waterways get a D+, but the country's dams and levees get a D.
Meanwhile, further downriver, the Port of New Orleans is the country's 6th busiest, but it can't accommodate the world's newest, biggest ships.
With 90% of international goods arriving on ships, the port is spending $1.5 billion on a second terminal to handle ships that carry twice the cargo.
But really, we're only as efficient and have capacity that the roads and the railways and the bridges have that connect to our ports.
To compete with the world, it all has to connect and work.
War would free people up to think about the things they actually care about, instead of worrying about whether they're going to get home. The better off they're going to be.
For drivers like Kelly,
It's not fair to actually have to come out of my pocket because they don't want to fix the street.
that pothole is personal. Tom Costello, NBC News, Warwick, Rhode Island.
Tom covering a lot of territory there. And tonight's Price You Pay. If you have lots of travel points or miles, now may be the time to use them. With that, here's Stephanie Rule.
Many Americans are planning trips they put on hold during the thick of the pandemic, knowing they'd be able to use those tickets and book American Airlines credit cards. Miles expire. Keep in mind that if you book through a third party, you may have to rebook the same way. When it comes to banking rewards points, travel credit card holders have an average of almost $650 in points saved up. Should we have a use it or lose it mentality?
We don't want to wait forever because points can devalue over time, and some loyalty programs have expiration dates.
Well, I was looking for information on the heat advisory in
If you are
the
vacationing this summer,
American West.
international flights will get you the biggest discounts because they're the most expensive. But double check the travel restrictions before booking. Set reminders to use credits before they expire. And if you don't have travel plans, consider cashing in your rewards for essentials like groceries or cash back. Stephanie Rule, NBC News.
That is Nightly News for this Monday. Thank you for watching, everyone. I'm Lester Holt. Please take care of yourself and each other. Good night. Hey, NBC News viewers. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here.
Told if you were on my side, ain't nothing in this world I couldn't do. The kings would give up thrones to me for just one hour like me, and that's the way I feel.
Power on.
Nice tea. I'll go ahead and upload this and then I'm gonna lay down. Almost for sure this time.